Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know who it is. It's Mr. Jude coming to you from the LTV studio. So, great to be with you today. Plans got a little changed, as I'm sure most of us know. So, I am going to be commentating today's soccer game. Looking forward to it. Of course, what I'm also looking forward to is putting to rest my ignorance about Doral Academy. Honestly, my resources are about as good as yours, and that means I'm probably using max preps like you, trying to figure out a little bit more about this team. Uh, some information that I have, know that they've lost one game. They've won one game. They've lost three games, and they've tied one game. But there are two games for which I have absolutely no standings. So that may be their record. That may not. What's not perplexing is what we're going to be calling them today. They are the Firebirds, much like the vehicle of olden times. I'm, of course, not. I don't think I'm dating myself, but I may be making a few of our members of our audience feel dated. But I can say that we're in for an interesting game. A little bit more information about our opponents. Doral Academy has, in fact, won one game on the record here, and that is against Lord's Academy, which your own LaSalle Royal Lions lost to. So, interesting. Another interesting thing to add to the interesting stack is the fact that LaSalle has actually beaten one of the teams that defeated Doral Academy in an away game, and that would be Gulliver Prep, if I remember correctly. So they lost to Gulliver Prep 1-0. We beat Gulliver Prep 3-0. Honestly, I'm a math teacher and I still don't know what to do with that sort of thing. So in the meantime, let me just say that it's wonderful to be having these two teams come head to head in a friendly game of the good old football. We're hoping that they enjoy themselves, that they show some skill, some passion, and most of all, some team spirit. So, speaking of team spirit, you have a shot there of our own Royal Lions having a talk with. Sorry, one moment. Having a talk with their coach, Coach Anthony Vono. So, shout out to Coach Vono. Hope he has everyone in the right mindset today, ready to, ready to send off his players into the great unknown that is apparently a game against Doral Academy. So we have a small pregame chat going on the field. We hope that, as all good chats are, it is friendly, it is full of witty banter. So I have a soccer riddle for all of you. What plant has a blade that can bend in the wind but does not break? Okay, what plant has a blade that can bend in the wind but does not break? Yes, this is the riddle show as we wait for some action to grace us on the field. So pray that it comes sooner. Maybe you'll get the answer to the riddle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that would be blades of grass. That would be grass. So here we go. Starting off on the pitch, we have some action on the ILS side of the field. Some passes back and forth between the midfielders and the center backs. And kicking it out to the left. Alright, so certainly just poking and prodding, it seems, at the ILS defense by the Doral Academy Firebirds. but it appears that, based on the amount of possession they've held, that this has not phased your Royal Lion defense. Okay, so a steal at the midfield is now leading to a Doral Academy, sorry, my goodness. Doral Academy attack. Some very even tempo play here, no grand rushes or steals back and forth, it seems. Okay, and a seemingly well executed pass to one of our teammates is threatening the ILS midfielders as they drop back. But the ball goes out of play, and it appears that ILS will throw it in. Okay, so some rough play, it appears, will lead to a free kick on the Royal Lion side of the field. This will be the first set piece of the match, rather early, and in a position that could prove threatening. All right, they put on their dancing shoes. Let's see if they can do the jig. And the answer is no. It's squarely into the hands of the ILS keeper. Good work on her part. Alright, so the ball briefly on the Doral Academy side of the field, but it is pushed back to the midfield and now at the feet of the backs. And the Royal Lions recovering in midfield. Midfielder or forward, we can't quite catch her number, but pushing up and stolen away again, unfortunately, but some back and forth is allowing ILS to maintain possession of the ball. And yet again, helpful, decisive part of the field. Okay, Doral Academy scrambling to put something together after stealing the ball. ILS feeling a little bit of said pressure. But some well executed and skillful footwork seems to have given brief relief to the offensive attack. With the ball knocked out of play, it appears it will be Royal Lions' ball. And throwing it into midfield, where it is knocked out of play again. ILS was a quick follow-up, trying to get the ball moving here. That pass meets an ILS player, but unfortunately, well, perhaps not unfortunately, but it is brought back to midfield and stolen away now, unfortunately, by Firebirds. Alright, the back showing some skillful moves, keeping that ball away from the forward in the corner there. And the midfielders making careful work of the passing lanes, making sure that no passes get to the front of the goal. Excellent stop by number 1, Miss Ashley Fonseca. Okay, in an effort to clear the ball, an In an effort to clear the ball, it has reached midfield and been brought back briefly to the back line of ILS, but now it'll be kicked in by the keeper. As per usual, it's nice to give our seniors a shout out, even if they may not be on the field at the moment. So I will be. Oh, but we have a more important. Sorry, seniors. We have a more important counterattack by the Royal Lion forwards. That is unfortunately put to a stop, but will allow for a throw-in somewhere on the Firebird side of the field. Okay, a bit of back and forth here. I wouldn't call this the best field positioning for a throw-in we've had all day, but I will say that it is rather good. Ooh, and unfortunately couldn't quite get the right head on that ball, so it does go out of play, and Doral Academy will take it at the midfield. Number 10 smartly clearing that ball away. Probably thinking that a better opportunity would present itself if she moved it further away from midfield. Ooh, unfortunately catches one of your forwards and around the head. She appears to be fine though, thankfully. Okay, so shout out to the seniors. Let's make this quick. We got Sabrina Souza. We have Andrea Olivi, Erica Austin, and those are all our seniors to our best of knowledge. Thank you to those three ladies for all the years they've put into this program. We hope you're making some contributions today, and contributions that you can be proud of course. So the ball perhaps going off, a player going offsides, I believe. So free kick by the Firebirds and skillfully taken away by Royal Lions. After going out of play, it is Firebird ball. But well executed steal by number 13, who is trying to make a breakaway. She may find a player or two to help her along the way. We're looking at number 2, perhaps, Miss Dena Prieto. And doesn't quite get the touch she was looking for. Instead of meeting one of her teammates on the left wing of the field, but then it goes out of play. We may have a corner, ladies and gentlemen, so maybe ILS can have their own, have a set piece of their own. No, it appears it'll be thrown in instead. There we go. So number 8 throwing it in. Finds one of her teammates. Some excellent shots by our camera operators. Big thank you to them. Okay, so ILS maintaining possession of the ball. You know, when the tempo is as high as it is right now, probably a great thing to be having is possession of the ball. So let's hope it stays at the feet of and heads of your ILS Royal Lion players. Lady Lions looking for an opening. Little difficult considering the help that the Firebirds have. Alright, and the scramble in that in the aftermath of that tackle leaves leaves the Firebirds with the ball. Okay, and then turned over perhaps by some sort of penalty or foul on the part of a Firebird. Okay, so excellent field position for this opportunity, for this kick. and unfortunately couldn't come away with what she was looking for there. Some aggressive player on the sidelines, and the ball goes out of play. No, free kick. Okay. Let's give it up for number 10, kicking the ball in. Ooh, excellent, right in front of the goal, and fortunately the forwards couldn't come away with something. Alright, good close-up there, shows us how aggressive you can see the throw-ins have been, and we've had quite a few as well, so you can only imagine these players are being careful, but the challenge is often in how much muscle you put into fighting for the ball. Okay, so excellent work. That'll be out of play and Royal Lion ball. I believe that was number 25 or number 10 to think. It's either Sabrina Souza or number 25 Osman Nabila. It helps that they're on the side of the field, so forgive me if I'm a little biased to plays on the left wing. Okay, number 8 throwing it in, reaching the foot of number 10. Working on a way to get it to further upfield, but unfortunately stolen away by a Firebird midfielder. Yeah, when I tell you I have little to no information about the Firebirds, I mean I don't even know the names of the people according to their numbers. That roster is blank, both in my mind and that of the World Wide Web. One has to wonder what the Firebirds are thinking after a impressive series of attacks by the Royal Lions mid and forwards. And I guess they're thinking about counterattacks. This one not going as planned at the moment, thanks to some expert play by the backs. Although it was awfully deep into the penalty box, I will say. Alright, so a long throw pitches the ball to the ILS side of the field, but since she did not quite find her mark, it'll be ILS defender stealing the ball back and leading a counterattack on the left wing. I believe the ball went out of play before that, before it could be cleared, so that means number 8 will be throwing it in from the Royal Lions. She finds the foot of a fellow player, but I suppose it wasn't exactly where she expected, or perhaps she couldn't get it where she wanted. So a bit of back and forth here on the Firebird side of the field. And now squarely in the metaphorical hands of the Royal Lions. Oh boy, so stolen away in an effort to counter the recent possession, but then stolen back by the Royal Lions and knocked out to play on the Firebird side of the field. So we have an unexpected cameo by some of our track players, I believe. Although that may be spring football, now that I think about it. I wonder if they know that they're on camera. Based on the view counts that we've been having, I think that's welcome to be made known to the public, but based on the 100 to 200 view counts we've been having, I suppose he's going to be getting quite a few viewers. Alright, so commentating on the game, right. Only the most important action here on from the LTV studio by myself. Some impressive and aggressive play by the midfielders and forwards have kept the ball on the Firebird side of the field for much of the past, I'd say, 10 minutes or so. So, a big congratulations, or I don't know, many compliments are due to the players making sure that the ball does not reach any threatening position on the pitch today. Or in recent minutes, that is. Okay, so a steal that nearly led to a breakaway is now being bottled up by the left backs and some of their midfielders. And I'd say well bottled at that, as the ball is taken off the field and given back to ILS. Yes, you're seeing ILS at the height of spring season activities. So you'll see players here, there, everywhere, trying to improve themselves, trying to appreciate. But ooh, my goodness! Again, I don't want to belittle any of the plays that we're seeing here. Some well-made plays by the defenders here, stopping the recent pressure encountered by Doral Academy offenders. But yes, so life does go on outside of the good old football. But I'm sure they'd be watching the game too if they had a chance. All right, ILS ball. Hoping to change the recent turn of events into one more beneficial to the scorecard. Okay, and some back and forth of the midfielder leaves the ball at the feet of a forward, who manages to get the ball in front of the goal, but not quite to her teammate, number 20. No, not quite. I'll get back to you on the number, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so it appears we might have our first water break. Alright, so with that, we'd like to give you the opportunity to hear a bit from our sponsors, and of course, we will be back with you very soon with all of the action. So we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on the pitch down at the Royal Lions field. So I hope all is going well out of the huddle or out of the water break, because myself am thirsty for a goal. Yes, expert jokes thought up over the sponsorship break. Speaking of sponsors, a big thank you to the ILS sports program, of course, bringing you both that commercial and the game you see here. All right, excellent opportunity here for a goal. Corner kick, reaching a midfielder. Reaching a Royal Lion. All right, so that quickly shifted to not quite what they were, what the Royal Lions were expecting, I suppose. But it seems they'll have another chance to. It seems like they may have another chance to bring about their expectations with a throw-in in a rather helpful side of the field. No, corner kick on. Yeah, she's going to kick a corner. Excellent. So yeah, if that wasn't quite what they were expecting, then maybe this one will be a bit more in line with what they were hoping for. Good boot, sails over, and perhaps a little too far because it doesn't quite meet one of her players. And it seems the Firebirds might be looking for an opportunity to counter that set piece. But a perhaps wise move by the goalkeeper to kick the ball away and actually finding number 13, who is driving past the midfield, looking for options, crowded and having a hard time to find them. Looks back and in fact finds someone to make a good pass, but she herself is swarmed. But in doing so, earns a free kick yet again, nearly at the top of the keeper's box. Number 10 taking the kick. All right, so a shot on goal was on the menu for today, and it was in fact on goal, but it appears it was not quite past the keeper. ILS wanted to keep the ball there, but it seems it slipped away. Not if 20 has anything to say about it, though. She steals it back. Finds number. Back to the outside. Ooh. And it appears the forward was not quite where her teammate was expecting there. High fives all around. It was a good attempt. Okay, tossed in by number 13 of the Firebirds. Sounds a little more pleasant than Doral Academy, but what do I know about names and such? I still think it's a car. Okay. So some action being kept on the Firebird side of the field, which is a rather helpful reliever for the defenders, getting to catch their own breath. Alright, a little bit of back and forth towards midfield resulted in a Doral Academy ball, but it is whistled dead by an offsides call. Okay, let's see if we have the rocket boots on this afternoon. Nice chip, goes pretty far, and I think the Firebird player did not quite tip it where she expected. Okay, so number 9 tossing it in. Okay, so Doral Academy struggling to hang on to the ball around their side of midfield after that toss in. And turned over in some manner or another by, and now kicked by number 17. Looking for a player she doesn't quite find. And the ball, yes, knocked out of play after a touch by Doral Academy, leading to a ILS possession. Okay, the ball at the feet of number 16, but pushed back to find another opportunity on the right wing. The ball goes back and forth between Doral Academy players on the ILS side of the field, but pressure's taken them to midfield. And that is ruled a clean tackle. Excellent. Excellent tackle in that case. Okay, number 11 charging, as well as the other backs. Some good old-fashioned. Ooh, that seemed out of play. There you go. Your Honor, I believe that was out of play. Yes. I'm sorry, they're not judges in that sense. He's just a line judge and referee. Okay, so I was under the impression that it was on the foot of a Firebird when it went out of play, but we'll see. We'll see what that call may result in. Number 13 of the Firebird tossing it in. Trying to chip it in front of the goal, but she does not find a player. She finds a defender. Ooh, okay. So the backs deciding to clear it away by pushing it out of play, giving themselves an opportunity to regroup. Alright, high ball. I don't think that was the best option or best choice on her part. And as a matter of fact, it's stolen away. Ooh, trying to field it to number 25. Just gets away from her. So, weather may have looked rather miserable earlier today, but I assure you that the cool ambient air is saving grace for these players. They are certainly doing a lot of back and forth running. Okay, and knocked out of play, and it'll be Firebird possession, or ball. Excellent steal by number 10. Number 10, after a bit of back and forth with the player, manages to clear it to the other side of the field. She finds a teammate, but it is then stolen away. Well chosen pass by the midfielder to stop the drive in its tracks after the steal. Ooh, tipped off, and now at the feet of a midfielder who's come forward to assist her teammates. Doral Academy stealing the ball back, trying to lead a charge, but the charge caught dead in its tracks, it appears. Excellent work. Alright, just walking the ball upfield. It seems they are a bit, the Firebirds are a bit worn out. One might even say the fire in that defense was extinguished. Ah, yes. Alright, so we have what appear to be some substitutions. So that'll bring number 16 out, I believe, as well as number 25. Great work by those players. That was number 25, Nabila Osman, and I believe Elisa Chong. Though Elisa Chong is listed as a defensive back, so that may be wrong. She seemed like a midfielder. Oh boy. Okay, so interesting counter being put together by the midfielders and forwards, looking for an opening here. They might not have the positioning they need, but they'll get another crack at it as they throw in the ball. Alright, number 9 throwing it in. Finds a teammate. Teammate makes a good clear over the net. So I suppose their goalie knew what's what and was not as excited at that shot as I was, but ILS does have more shots today than the Firebirds, and I believe more shots on goal as well. Now, some of you at home might be wondering, is this a Peter Pan session? Because I keep on saying, I believe this, I believe that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing my best to run the numbers in my head as we move along, but some numbers are just not well suited to sportscaster's mentality. So, but hey, maybe if you believe, I will myself get better. If you haven't watched Peter Pan in a while, why not? Okay, so some interesting play by the backs. Finally clear the ball to midfield, where it's going back and forth, but gradually moving towards ILS side of the field. She finds it. Firebird finds an opening, but what I think was a decisive play by the goalkeeper. Some decisive play there allows a stop to a shot or two on goal. All right, opportunity for counter. 3 forwards. That'd be number 13, Miss Hannah Gonzalez. Showing some fancy footwork. Someone was ready to cut loose when they took the pitch this afternoon. Off the back foot of a defender, and not in the typical manner. Pushes the ball back towards midfield. So, how about that? Alright, ball at the feet of a midfielder. Eventually finds its way to a back, and trying to pressure to the left side, but unfortunately knocked out of play. So a brief lull in the action, giving us an opportunity to breathe after that dangerous set of plays by the Firebirds. Ooh, and just a bit too aggressive while pressuring for the ball there by number 10. Alright, number 13, she has another opportunity to make something with this free kick. She nearly finds a defender. Ooh, goalkeeper misses that grab, but comes back before that mistake could come back to haunt her. Interesting lob. A lob recovered by a Royal Lion. Let's see if she finds something to do with it. Evidently, the answer is she finds nothing to do with it because the Firebirds are having none of it. Number 9, tossing it in. That'd be Gorilla Chong. Excellent steal. Very subtle, but excellent steal. Not at the feet of your Royal Lions on the Firebird side of the field, but you know there is some back and forth happening here. So it does manage to get to the ILS side of the field instead. Okay, Doral Academy throwing it in. Throw finds number 6. Excellent play by number 22. Ooh, no. Nothing but leg. Let's see if that results in a card. The answer is no. No, that might have been a card. Yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, nothing but leg. Absolutely no ball. And you know, I can see some small mistakes might lead to a penalty like that, but you know, thankfully the midfielder knew how to suck that up. Rolled with the punch, so to speak. Alright, that'd be number 10 kicking it upfield. And unfortunately blocked by a Firebird. By the way, if saying it was blocked by a Firebird sounds as odd to you at home as it does to me, maybe I just stick with Doral Academy, huh? It's probably just a matter of familiarity. Alright, number 8, passing it in, finding a player. Number 25. And the Firebird's own number 8. Stealing away the ball, it seemed. Ball went out of play. Okay, halftime is fast approaching. There's just been so much back and forth that we have just lost track of the time. So, good on the Lady Lions for showing an pulse-pounding, intense showing. Kicked out of play to give an opportunity to reset. Okay, we are mere seconds away from halftime. Alright, and that is it. So with the half comes a halftime break, which we will give over to our sponsors. A big thank you to them, and the score remains 0-0 here on the home of the Royal Lions. Thank you so much, and let's turn it over.
PI Miami is a division of Giordano Protection Services located right here in the heart of Wynwood. They are a world-renowned private investigation agency that has worked with defense teams all over the U.S., and they can provide you with infinite insights, even in the most complex of cases. Let's go and see why they're the best in the biz.
Here at PI Miami, we use former law enforcement personnel, ranging from narcs to homicide investigators, SWAT, and we even have a psychic detective on hand. This means we know how things work from the inside out. We have complete understanding and knowledge of expert testimony. We coach witnesses on how to testify. We specialize in cases involving capital punishment. We go into every case as if all our clients are guilty until we can come out and prove their innocence. We take the hardest of evidence and we crush it in front of the prosecution, creating ulterior motives, alternate suspects that may have done the crime. This is what we do, create doubt in the jury's mind.
Sometimes standard procedure just isn't enough. PI Miami is a leader in creating the most complex and innovative undercover surveillance.
Miami, because of its climate, we have cultures from all over the world. A lot of times we're retained for ritualistic crime investigation or surveillances into a boyfriend or a girlfriend, which leads us to this cemetery here. The skull, the dirt, the chicken feathers in the bag, the coconut, this was used for rituals of Santeria. Because of our uniqueness and our experience in investigations and undercover work, we've been able to put surveillance cameras during some of these rituals and actually obtain criminal confessions as they try to cleanse their soul in appeasing their orishas.
With years of department regulations and political red tape, their hands have been tied. Up until now, PI Miami's chain of command is now directly with you. But keep your eyes open because they might be watching.
When I first started in '83, none of these buildings were here. The skyline was pretty low and flat. In the last 30 years, it's been an unbelievable growth. From the art museum behind us to Science Museum, 900 Biscayne, which is the next project that we're going to be changing all the air conditioning out on the roof with a large helicopter. Over there to the Marriott across the street, and the cooling towers we changed on there with one of the largest cranes in South Florida. We have heat exchangers that tie into the saltwater life safety system that regulate the temperature in all of these tanks. We treat our people with respect. We treat our people well. Our benefits are good. We treat them like a family, but we do have a certain amount of rigidity and structure in our company that I think the people like. But for the most part, it's a family-run business, and hopefully it'll stay that way forever.
Let me know what you guys would like to see, and we'll get a little deeper into that as well. So here we go. So I just walked into Plantation Boat Mart, the Blackwater facility now. I have touched down at Pirates Cove Marina here at Deep Impact. Show you a little bit about what makes this company different. How these boats perform offshore. Not a day that you normally want to go out on and see how the boat handles. Very aerodynamic, actually pushes the boat downwards at high speed. From Miami to Tampa, and we'll show you the whole process from A to Z. We're gonna run this boat around the Miami area here as we normally do. Get through a quick tour of the features that I see, as it's a 2010 triple 350 Mercuries. Well, there you have it, our sea trial on the 288 Sea Fox Commander, taking us on another tour for Sea Hunt Flagship 43 right here behind me. I'm looking forward to jumping on this boat, doing a quick sea trial and showing you what those differences are.
And we're live back in the ILS studios. It's great to be joining you all again. We are going to be fast approaching the start of our second half here. It'll be another 40 minutes with which the Royal Lions hope to execute a goal or two. And I say a goal or two because it seems like it's going to be tough to get more than that against the defense that the Firebirds have been putting up today from Doral Academy. So Doral Academy will be tipping off from the center of the field. By the way, I do want to give a shout out in addition to our other sponsors. Thank you to Drew, Events by Drew for continuing to give us all of the excellent work here on the field, from the camera crew to the studio. And so it begins, the second half. We have another 40 minutes of play for all of you to watch from home today, whether live or pre-recorded. We hope you're enjoying thus far the intense back and forth we've been watching. Or as much as you can enjoy, it's intense back and forth between the two teams who have squared off today. All right, so back to it. After throw in by Doral Academy, their drive up field is stopped by the forwards and midfielders dropping back, though they will still have the ball. Ooh, a poorly placed pass ends up with the defenders, so they stop what could have been a more dangerous play. ILS certainly feeling the heat, however, the start of the half. Maybe there can be some feline ferocity of their own to show those Firebirds, huh? I hope I don't have to explain too many of these analogies, because I certainly don't think they're very good in the first place, and we shouldn't spend too much time on them. So, the Firebirds looking for somewhere to thread in a pass on the right wing, but thus far coming up short, thanks in part to your midfielders and the backs who have shifted left to stop them. Okay, so the pass not going quite as expected there, leads to some back and forth on ILS side of the field. Firebirds at the top of the penalty box, but plenty of defenders there to swarm the lone Firebird looking for an opportunity. Keeper deciding to pass it away to number 13, who herself, while trying to clear it upfield, has it knocked away by a Firebird and out of play. Okay, so number 9 making a hearty toss to her teammate, who makes a good pass to the center of the field, finding her forward. Ooh, and a foul will lead us to a free kick in dangerous territory for those Firebirds. Let's see if the Royal Lions smell blood. They certainly want a goal. Ooh, not quite where it expected to go. But it did find a player there at the top of the box. All right, and with the ball out of play, ILS will be throwing it in. Finding the foot of number 13. Passes the ball to number 2. Who unfortunately didn't have any openings to exploit. And the ball ends up with the midfielder, number 9, 8, and number 13 on the right wing. Okay, number 9 throwing it in. And she's dropping back to put a stop to what might have been a dangerous counterattack had it not been for the efforts of number 20. Didn't quite catch her number, but the midfielder on the right wing. And with this ball out of play on the side of the field, it'll be tossed in by the Firebirds near their own goal line. Alright, that finds the foot of number 13. Number 13 trying to find her own teammate, but the ball is then knocked out of play by a Firebird, so ILS will be throwing it in. Ooh, pass not quite finding its mark. And the aggressive play there, unfortunately leading to a foul. Okay, so the center back number 17, or left back, I'm not quite sure, kicking it away. And some back and forth at midfield. Ooh. Decisive steal. Unfortunately, doesn't quite go where it needed to there. It goes out of play. Ooh, a high kick. Keeps the ball away from a Firebird midfielder. And as the back comes forward to help her midfielder, they manage to square away a possession. One that will continue as a Firebird knocked that out of play. Excellent. Ooh, over the bar. Okay, excellent shot. It is off goal. Oh, she seems to be selling that like last week's milk. ILS still maintaining possession of the ball. Oof, another terrible analogy, by the way. My apologies to the lactose intolerant. An excellent commentary on how they moved last week's milk to the front of the shelf so you buy it first, though. They know how savvy the American consumer is about their dairy. Okay, so ILS will be back in possession of the ball at about midfield. And all this only in the first 10 minutes of the half, I will say. Okay, a sprint to the ILS side of the field as the Firebirds mount an offense. Ooh, but some quick plays by the midfielder number. I'll catch her number in a moment, but I believe it was number 20. Allows ILS to hold the ball and move upfield at the foot of number 13. She's on the right wing, looking for either a player or a shot, and unfortunately gets neither. It's going to be a keeper kicking the ball. Oh, correction, that'll be the keeper's teammate, number 20, I believe, will be kicking the ball. She finds a teammate, but said teammate knocks the ball out of play, so it'll be back in the hands of the midfielder, Gabriela Chong, who now tosses it in. It reaches instead the head of the Firebird. Ooh, some words are exchanged. And Firebirds kicking away the ball. Not finding a teammate, but instead a center back. And the center back moving it back upfield where it reaches the Firebirds. So the usual back and forth here in midfield. And of course, where else would someone expect a fearsome back and forth between teams as earnest to score a goal as these? Okay, so some opportunities, unfortunately not capitalized on at the Firebird side of the field, since ILS did have the ball there, but now they lead a counter as they speedily try to drive and take a shot off goal. All right, and a keeper chasing the ball moment here, giving us a lull in today's programming. Okay, and let's see what ILS is willing to do with this ball as Miss Fonseca kicks it off to her teammates. Some expert passing there by the back. Ball goes out of play and remains in ILS hands. Ball getting away from the midfielders, meaning the Firebirds now take it away and look for an opportunity to score. some midfielders drop back and stop the charge. And number 13 looking for an opening. She might have it. She finds a teammate. No, not quite. She couldn't quite catch up. Ooh. That does have to hurt. Yeah, I don't know what the right play there was. It was the goalkeeper was definitely pretty far up on the ball, and a shot on goal may not have been as likely as one made by the teammate by her teammate, but just doesn't quite reach the left forward. Okay, stolen by the Firebird side of the field, and either a pass to the right side or the top of the box gets blocked and eventually knocked out of play after a touch by the Royal Lions. Okay, it seems like the wheels may be coming off of this bus, because let me just say that no matter where or how the Firebirds try to maintain possession, it always seems to end up at the foot of the Royal Lions forwards and midfielders. I do want to know as much as you do whether or not this is the tipping point. A penalty leading to a free kick at around midfield. Though based on previous set pieces, this may not be too concerning. I will say that a victory over a team who themselves have beaten the Lourdes Academy team, which is a loss that recently lays heavy on the players' hearts, would be helpful for the morale. An excellent pass, finding the top of the box. Yes! Excellent job. That is a goal by number 2. She comes to grab that cross by number 13 at the top of the goal, and does not let the pass escape her, and instead manages to find the back of the net. That's Miss Dena Prieto. So that looks like that will be her 4th goal of the season. Okay, so I apologize for taking a brief leave there. So, especially as the action mounts. Okay, so Firebird's trying to pass it in and find a forward. One of said forwards attempts a goal, but is just off the mark and not on goal, though the keeper was certainly on top of it. All right, so keeper taking the kick. Okay, finding the midfield. And one of her forwards. But stolen away by the Firebirds. And they bring it back to midfield. Okay, they seem to have a few players up, maybe 3 or so, in a penalty box area. ILS swarming and preventing a shot from going on goal. That's right. If you are trying to... Okay, it appears we are going to a water break, so ladies and gentlemen, this is an excellent opportunity to yet again hear from our sponsors and give things a chance to settle down here on the field. Alright, that's excellent. Thank you again to the ILS athletics team for helping all these programs stay up and running, even despite current circumstances. Trying to allow these players to have a chance to live active, live healthy, and grow as players of virtue and honesty and integrity and such. And a thank you to Mr. Mendez and his senior LTV production crews for getting that nice bit of media packaging together last year. Okay, so the goal kick, finding a teammate, but then stolen away. ILS seeking a drive on the left wing. She does have the players, but she may not have the lanes to pass. And that is somewhat proven true as the Firebirds managed to steal and put a stop to the drive. I said it before and I'll say it again, however, I do think the wheels are coming off of this so-called bus that is the Firebirds defense, because they may be driving it back and forth, but your Royal Lions, they certainly are on the hunt for more opportunities to score goals than they are, just by virtue of having the ball more, having more possession this half. So Firebirds throwing it in at about midfield. And knocked out of play at some point, which means your Royal Lions will be throwing it in now, again at midfield. With some aggressive play by the Firebirds forward, going head to head with the left back. After getting a bit of assistance, they managed to clear it away, though it remains Firebird ball. A correction. Royal line ball. Okay, so taking the kick number 1. Finding a teammate about midfield. And this leads to a breakaway on the left wing. Ooh. Slow pass meant the ball couldn't keep moving there. So they decide to leave it to the midfielder who comes up. She's going to make a shot on goal. Ooh. Off the mark, so correction, not quite. Though one does feel that the pressure continues to mount in what is now the last 17 minutes or so of play. ILS driving it up on the right wing. The attempt at the cross, not finding a player at the top of the box. So it goes back to the left wing. Ooh, some back and forth, bringing it back to the top of the penalty box, with ILS players there to steal it. Oh boy, you can almost smell the desperation here. Those players from Doral Academy really trying to hold out hope for a goal, but ILS honestly putting enough pressure to nearly earn a few of the, one or two of their own. Some skillful play by the backs, keeping that ball from approaching the top of the penalty box. Okay, so the salesman routine does not work on the referee. So some back and forth continues to happen on the right wing of the Firebird scheme. It appears that they'll have an opportunity at a set piece here as they take a corner. Number 13 of the Firebirds taking the corner. Not quite what was expected there. So you may have seen that ILS might have been caught a little short-handed on the set piece, and maybe they didn't quite know their matchups. But something to look over at a later time. In the meantime, your Royal Lions just want to let loose with their own attempt at the back of the net. Okay, number 2 taking the first touch for her teammates here. They move the ball around the backfield. ball perhaps mistakenly knocked out of play. So the Firebirds will be tossing it in. Then back and forth at the sidelines, allowing your Royal Lions to instead take the ball once again. You can see number 13 charging up the wing, but there are no lanes open to pass to her, unfortunately. We got a little one waddling about the field there. Hope he's enjoying this evening. It is some fine weather we're having. I suspect he's not quite enjoying the game. Okay, so a lob to the line side of the field does not find any of the Firebirds' teammates. Ooh, a well-executed head might move the ball to more advantageous positioning. Okay, on the right wing. Ooh, not quite the touch I believe the right forward was looking for there. Okay, and I believe you can even hear the fans cheering on that counterattack. Seems like the Doral Academy fan squad is out. And they may be excited for the upcoming corner kick considering their successes on the last one. Doral Academy, I did say that their set pieces had left something to be desired earlier this game, and it appears that the last corner brought something out that we hadn't seen today. We have another player, a different player from the last corner, number 23, taking the touch. And your Royal Lions not being caught unawares this time around. In some part, it is just the Royal Lions making this look easy. It is not, of course, always. It, of course, not always is a matter of simple, poor, good at set pieces. So the ball wrapping itself around the net there, working its way behind the net there as the shot goes off goal. Let's see what's left in store for tonight. I don't believe the wind has yet been taken out of the sails of this Royal Lions team, but I will say that there have been quite a few odd breakaways that have been happening, as it appears the Firebirds are achieving some kind of rhythm. And a shot that may have been off goal is stolen away by the keeper as she tries to move the ball up the opposite side of the field by making a pass to the right wing. Alright, and out of play and an ILS ball. So let's see if a attack on the left might lead to something interesting. Ooh, stolen away by a Firebird there. Okay, smart kick on the part of the midfielder who had dropped back to get that. And number 13 passing it to her teammate on the left side. She has help. And again, not quite making the touches before some of these shots we're looking at here. And some aggressive play on the far side of the field has led to a back and forth the past few seconds. That has ILS coming away with the ball, but not managing to get a counter as the Firebirds steal it away. There have been quite a few long balls going across the field here. One does have to wonder if players are not as willing to challenge each other's passing lanes as the minutes wind down, and perhaps they lose a bit of the verve they showed at the start of the half. Knocked out of play by a Firebird, trying to relieve some of the pressure. And some much welcomed back and forth around the Firebird side of the field, but unfortunately there's a breakaway by one of the forwards, knocked out of play by a defender. And that will, however, be a... Ooh, good. Okay, so that'll be tossed in by the Firebirds. And a shot off goal. Means the keeper will be kicking it in. In the absence of stoppage time, it needs to be said that the ball needs to be brought back on the field if ILS plans on taking the lead here. But it does give the keeper's teammates a chance to readjust, take a second look at what they're working with here. ILS throwing it in on their side of midfield. And as the ball continues to be knocked out of play, it is moved further and further up midfield. This is the angle that we're going to be working with for a few minutes here. Ooh, number 2 not quite getting what she was looking for there, but nearly managed a strong attempt at the ball there, at the net. Okay, countering on the right wing is the Firebird forwards, and knocked after an attempt at the goal, goes off the mark. For those of you wondering, we have about 6 minutes of play remaining, 6.5 minutes that is, of play remaining. Alright, and another boot to midfield. But unfortunately, it rolls out of play. Couldn't quite read the pass, it seems. That or get ahead of it. Smartly knocked out of play by number 22. Some movement at midfield. ILS comes away with the ball, but it's whistled dead as either a foul is called or a player is caught offsides. I believe the former, a foul, would be the case here. Alright, so this ball at about midfield. And the long shot is not going to meet the Firebirds' expectations there. And good, they found another ball. You know, I don't think we will be able to call any result today decisive, because this has been some back and forth play, regardless of the minute or the possession. Okay, so ILS finding a way to move the ball upfield, but it remains in the possession of the Doral Academy Firebirds until it's knocked out of play, and it is now ILS ball. Okay, and perhaps an offsides call leads to a free kick by Doral Academy. They're charging up the right wing. They don't quite have what they're looking for as the ball moves out of play, and it will be a corner kick on the Royal Lions side of the field. Well, I said earlier that the Firebirds were desperate, and in that case they were desperate to score a goal to close the gap, close the lead. But this back and forth here on the right side of the penalty box is showing that it's also desperation for a win that that's driving them. I imagine with the record that I know of, that they are certainly hoping for a win here. But your Royal Lions, hoping to close their own win-loss deficit. Let's see what they can work with. We have only seconds remaining in the half. And that'll be the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. So, a excellent turnout by your Royal Lions. Some very strong and sportsmanlike plays here made here on the field. So a big shout out to the Lady Lions and how they did today. And that'll be a tie going out of the game. This has been Mr. Jude, and it's been a pleasure being with you all to watch today's game. I'm going to send it out one more time to the with a sponsorship from the athletics team. Thank you so much for joining us.